Shalom, how you doing? Did you miss me? I miss you guys so much. Okay, the message I have is kind of like a good and a bad. Okay, I got this message like 2 weeks ago, and God says, okay, I need for you to get this out now. So I'm getting it out. God gave me Isaiah 6, but before I go into that, I heard God. I was praying and talking to God. And I was picking up a lot of things that was happening around the place, and also even everything. And it's like I heard the voice of God says, "Judgment." And I said, "What, God?" And he said, and he didn't went twice. He didn't say another time. Like he's saying, "You heard me." So I was like, "Oh." So then afterwards then God gave me Isaiah 6. So let me read it to you quickly. It says here in Isaiah 6, it says, "In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting on a throne, high and lifted up, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Above it stood seraphims." Now remember, seraphims hover over the head of God, over his glorious presence. "And each one had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, and 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he flew. And one cried, and another said, 'Holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory.' And the posts of the door were shaken by the voice of him who cried out, and the house was filled with the smoke. So I said, 'Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips.'" This is what Isaiah was saying when he saw the seraphims hovering over God, when he visioned it. This is after King Uzziah, and King Uzziah means, yes, King Uzziah means, in Hebrew, it means the Lord is my strength or power. And it said here, it said in the beginning part, it says in the year that King Uzziah died. That means the faith of people had gone, the trust in God had gone. And they were leaning onto their own understanding, onto their own thing. Let me go back to this now. When Isaiah looked up and said, "Woe unto me." And he says here, "People of unclean lips, for my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts." So he's saying that he wasn't even worthy to be in the presence of God. When he went in God's presence and he felt his presence. You remember I said to you guys that when I got saved, and at the time I wasn't looking forward to getting saved, and then I saw flames lit up before me, coming out of the benches and everywhere all around me, and I could feel the scorchiness of the flames. And when it touched me, I felt that it's like a scorch, but it's not a scorch on the outside, it's like a scorch from within. So I can literally understand what he's saying here. "Then one of the seraphim flew to me, having in his hands a live coal, which he had taken with the tongues from the altar, and he touched my mouth with it and said, 'Behold, this has touched your lips. Your iniquity is taken away, and your sin purged.' Also I heard the voice of the Lord saying, 'Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?'" Now, when I heard God said judgment, I started to pray and say, "God, have mercy upon them, for they know not what they do." God, whoever it is, God, have mercy upon them. Because I can relate to Jesus when Jesus said, "God, have mercy upon them." Because if you truly know how God works and how God does his thing, God is a good God. God is a God of love, peace, and serenity, but God is a God of balance. So where there's peace and serenity, there's also judgment. So there has to be balance. It's like I was saying in the Juneteenth celebration of poetry at the Rivera Beach Library. I was saying it because one of the gentlemen was saying that at the time when he was writing poetry, it was at a negative time. So he doesn't want to reflect on that. And I was saying to him, no. I said, that's where a lot of us misconstrued. We have to embrace those negative times. We have to receive those negative times. We have to take that negative time and appreciate it for what it is and see what it taught us. See what we learned from it and then move on from there. Because in everything, there has to be a balance between the negative and the positive to make you balanced, to make you core. There has to be a balance between your good and your bad side of you. Make you have that core. Make you have that center. And this is what's going on here with Isaiah. Isaiah says, he says, I'm not good enough to be in your presence, God. And then the seraphim angel came and purified him with a coal, from the altar that was up in heaven. And it touched him and it cleansed him and it purified him, because what he was willing to admit that he had fault, admit that he was not perfect. And remember, I said to you guys that when you talk it out, like confess certain things and talk it out and admit it, that yes, this is me and this is what I did wrong and this is where I am, and then it comes back, because you release, it comes back to you as it comes back to you as clarity, as upliftment, as joy and strength. Why? Because you released it, because you gave it unto God. So God was able to purify it, to send it back onto you, but in a positive light, in a positive way. That doesn't mean that everything's going to be cleared up straight away, but this is a start. It's the same thing here. Same thing here. So whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then I said, here am I, send me. And he said, go and tell this people, keep on hearing but do not understand, keep on seeing but do not perceive. A lot of us are not seeing what God is trying to show us. A lot of us are not perceiving what God is trying to show us. So we're hearing it, we ain't understanding. We're seeing it, we ain't perceiving it for what it is. We are trying to make up this. We need to face it for what it is and then deal with it as how it is supposed to be dealt with. And if we can't just give it unto God, let it go. Because these things are affecting us. It's affecting our destiny. It's affecting our presence, that we're unable to get our future. So we need to go into these depths and see whatever God is trying to show us for what it is. That's what life is all about. Facing your hardest situation, face on, and asking God to give you the strength that you can go through it, to overcome it. Stop running away from it, because the more you're running away from it, the more it's layering up, the more it's building up, So that's what God is saying. So because of that, now a lot of judgment is coming on a lot of us, because we are not dealing with certain things. We are not accepting it for what it is, or we're not trying to turn away from that. We're not trying to change that. And that's what we need to do right now. That's what God wants us to do. It is the time of change. It is the time of adjustment. It's a time of judgment, but it's judgment to help us to move forward, help us to move in the right way, because God does not want to lose none of us. God doesn't want nothing to happen to any of us. So he's going to be a strict father, and we have to understand that. All right. So nation, people, whoever you are, take this on. You have to change your way. You have to adjust, because God is a God. He sees everything. Everything is being taken down. Do you know that your own spirit is going to testify against you on judgment, in judgment times? Do you know that your own spirit will testify against you, because it's there as a witness? It's there as a witness. Taking down every single secret notes that you have hidden down. Yes, it's going to be testifying against you. It is. Definitely. All right. So take note, everyone. Please. Just listen in here and be obedient. Even everyone has to listen. Even me have to listen. Even me, every day. I tell you guys this all the time. I said every day I test and I check myself. And when I see that there's a fault there, I sort that out, because I ain't trying to open up no doorway, leave no doorway open. Okay? All right. Take care. Lots of love, you guys. Mwah. Bye. Shalom. Woo.